Crazier drugs you never heard of.
Crazier drugs that you've never heard of. A couple weeks ago, I decided to compile a list of the weirdest, most obscure, and most unheard of drugs on the infinitely deep iceberg known as the internet. That video's list was only 5 drugs long, but honestly, 5 drugs doesn't even scratch the surface of this monstrous iceberg.
Bro, the only drugs I know is weed, crack, meth, fentanyl, Xans, heroin, shrooms. I mean, I guess you could. I mean, is it really shroom? Is that really a drug? Meth, yeah, meth. We know. I feel like that's it. I don't know anymore.
So today, I'm here to bring you the much anticipated part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, don't worry. You can watch it after this video. It's a great video, but it's not a requirement to watch this video. As I did say in the last
cocaine. What's the difference between cocaine and crack? Or are they the same thing? I don't even know.
Video.
That's the same thing, ain't it? I don't know, bro.
These videos are
I don't even want to know. Like, I don't even know drugs like that.
Product of me venturing down hundreds of rabbit holes on the craziest drug forums and websites I could find. Regardless, the wait is finally over. Let's get right into the list.
Smell even
Number
a little
1,
bit,
EA3167.
I think I heard
no,
that.
Not.
Bro, what do you even say?
Get right into the list. Number 1, EA3167.
Bro. Yeah. What are you doing after work? I'm just taking some EA3167, bro. Some calm shit. What you mean EA316? They can't just make regular names, bro. This shit sound like a planet.
No, not.
Oh, crack is the rocks of cocaine to smoke. Cocaine is just the raw powder. Oh, okay. EA making drugs. What the fuck?
EA Sports.
Yo, sound like a password
in the game. EA3167. Close though. What happens when you create
anything
some type of mad scientist coalition of some of the best chemical engineers and scientists in the world, paired with billions of dollars in backing from the United States military budget? Well, you get a chemical weapon that's so brutal even Darth Sidious would be impressed. This wartime designer drug, and I'm not even exaggerating, might be the most extreme non-lethal drug I have ever heard of. In all honesty, this atrocity of a chemical is so ungodly and just plain eerie that it's inconceivable to me why this has even been created in the first place. Like, I can't even understand who would bother imagining such an unnecessary extreme compound to begin with. First, let's begin with some context. EA3167 is what would be known as a deliriant. If you've ever seen a YouTube video on what it's like to take too much Benadryl, such as seeing shadow people and spiders everywhere, forgetting
No, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Bro, I don't know if it's a PTSD thing or something, bro. Thankfully, bro, we don't have roaches anymore. Before we moved, because bro, in my apartment we had roaches, bro. Sometimes if I don't sleep for a while, bro, or I take some like Benadryl or some shit like that, I will literally see roaches in my wall, bro. So you be seeing roaches and they not there. Yes, I would think I'm seeing a roach crawling on the wall sometimes, bro.
You know, and not remember.
Top 10 Benadryl can't even think, bro. What the fuck?
Break how to read anymore, having hallucinations that you can't differentiate from real life, and sometimes forgetting language entirely. The effects of these large Benadryl doses happen because it's a deliriant drug. In general, Benadryl is effective at treating allergies, fever, and flu-like symptoms. But as many of you know, in high doses, Benadryl starts to get super unpleasant, to put it mildly. This is because in high doses, Benadryl is what they call an anticholinergic. Or in non-nerd terms, it makes your memory about 80 times worse than Joe Biden's. Right, but why is Benadryl anticholinergic? Well, because it's old. Benadryl was released for prescription in 1946, which means that Benadryl is turning 78 in 2024.
Old ass pill. God damn. What the fuck? Like, we would be on FaceTime and she would pop them things. I used to fuck with a girl in high school who would pop mad Benadryl on the daily. What? Bro, just popping it for fun, bro?
I'm guessing when scientists discovered it, they were too caught up with all of the stuff that it cured to think about the fact that it crossed the blood-brain barrier to begin with. They were probably like, why does that matter? It's not like anybody over the age of 8 is gonna take a bunch of allergy pills
Bro, that is a lot of Benadryl in that dude's hand, though.
To get high off of. Actually, that's exactly what happened. But like I said, old antihistamines such as Benadryl and other designer deliriants like EA3167
Benadryl is 60 years old?
Cross the blood-brain barrier, which blocks your brain's ability to use acetylcholine, which is really bad. That's because acetylcholine Acetylcholine helps regulate things like sleep, wakefulness, memory, and focus. So basically, getting exposed makes you feel like you're literally going insane. And from everybody else's perspective, you just look like an idiot. You'll try to walk into doors that aren't there, talk to invisible people that aren't even around you, run from invisible spiders and shadow people, and most likely try to use your computer, forget your password, and get so pissed off that you punch the imaginary spider on your screen. However, let me be clear, Benadryl is not fun.
There's a subreddit dedicated people popping like 650 milligrams of Benadryl, bro. But that doesn't even seem like there's no way that's fun though, bro. Like you just seen a whole bunch of shit over and over and over. There's no way that's fun for people
to abuse. Most people that try to use it in high doses recreationally end up being traumatized at some point, and long-term abuse can lead to early dementia. If you don't believe me, watch a couple Benadryl trip reports on YouTube and come to your own conclusion. Now that we have a better understanding, let's talk about EA3167, the drug in question for this list.
I'm gonna get fent, nitrous, and Benadryl at the same time. Yo, long live one level, I guess. Like, what the freak? Also, a honey pack. All right, yo, bro, dope.
1960s, the U.S. government had a new goal, and that was to make bioweapons that didn't necessarily kill people, but incapacitated them for days.
Why would they do that?
Program was known as the U.S. Military Chemical Weapons Program. And one
you should try every drug on stream. Think about the clips. Bro, I am not Steve-O, first of all. Second of all, bro, think about the clips like I won't die, like second, like not even like fourth, fifth drug in, I'm dead.
Interesting result of this program was a contract with Edgewood Arsenal, who eventually developed the psychological war crime of a drug. EA316 has the exact same effects as 3-QNB, but it lasts way longer. And unlike 3-QNB, which was just accidentally discovered, EA3167 was purposely developed and designed to be terrifying. In both of these drugs, the effect is simple. It incapacitates your brain's ability to use acetylcholine, which, like I said earlier, is essential for memory and not going insane. If somebody wants to get you to do this stuff, they probably will. It's a white, crystalline, odorless powder, completely soluble in most liquids, including water, and has—
Yo, that's actually scary as shit. So you could just drink water and then it'll, you stir it up and it'll literally disappear and you can't tell. That's scary shit though, bro. Bro would be mixing heroin and fent and yo, hell no, bro. That nigga was tripping, bro.
Has delayed symptoms several hours after contact.
Hi, Extro. It's one level. I'm off the nitrous. You're not Kanye, bro.
It also has a half-life of 3 to 4 weeks in moist air, which means that your enemy could spike your food with it and wait weeks until you eat it. It also lasts a really long time in soil. If you happen to get drugged with this stuff, you're basically going to lose your mind. According to official sources, common symptoms include both, quote, psychological and physiological effects.
Bro, I'm like months sober, bro.
With the most incapacitating effects.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Bro, I have a picture of it, like, actually looking like... Bro, I showed my brother. He was like, bro, what are you fucking doing? Because he deadass thought it was like a bottle of lean or some shit. This shit kind of looked realistic. Damn, I take too many pictures. Bro, where is it? Like, I was editing, bro. It kind of looked like it, like, from afar. Or maybe not. I don't know. It was just G Fuel, bro. I just needed to stay awake through the night, bro.
Being the state of delirium characterized by cognitive dysfunction, hallucinations, and the inability to perform basic tasks. What's crazy about 3QMB is that the US military designed a specific cluster bomb called the M44 generator cluster, which basically sent a bunch of flying gas canisters down on your enemy, creating a visible white cloud of doom. And if you got caught in it, you would become incapacitated anywhere from a couple hours to a couple of—
And niggas thought, yeah, we should make that a drug. We should put that in the drug too, right? Like, bro, what are we doing? Show us. Okay, let me see what my actual last selfie is, bro. Okay, if we being very technical, bro, it's not even a picture of me. It's a picture of Kino because he told me to make a thumbnail for him. Yo, Kino! Fucking hilarious. and then this is my... Bro, dude. I look like a fucking loser. I don't know when I even took... Well, obviously the date right there, September 13th. I don't take selfies often, but why am I sitting in the car like this? I look like I'm fucking plotting something. I don't look... Bro, I need to delete photos of my shit, bro.
Days. But that was just phase 1 of this drug. The final...
Why are you planning to get that Kino pic hard printed? Bro, No, I'm not planning to do that, bro. What about this one you posted the other day? Like, do you have that? Why do you have that on standby? Bro, wrong video. Get this video out my face. Why do you have that on standby? Bro, why was you mad? Bro, I wasn't even mad. Bro, my natural face is just, I don't know, bro. My natural face just looks like I'm pissed off or like I'm annoyed, bro. If I don't like force myself to kind of smile a little bit or like, I don't know.
The supervillain form of this drug, EA3167, was basically what you would call super Benadryl. Because if Benadryl turns you into a vegetable, this stuff turns you into bedrock.
Is not long.
Ingesting
this what? It turned into a what?
For Benadryl. Because if Benadryl turns you into a vegetable, this stuff turns you into bedrock. Ingesting a tiny amount will give you a bad Benadryl-like trip, but only requires 0.2 milligrams for an average weight person, and it lasts anywhere from 5 to 10 days.
That is so crazy.
With many
it turns you black. That's not what he said.
Users saying they needed 20 days to fully recover. So basically, it's akin to a 10 to 20 day long Benadryl overdose. Or in other words, it's actually like going clinically insane for at least 10 days, not remembering how to speak, how to walk, how to read, what the layout of your house was, or anything else really. Considering military leaders were planning on drugging enemies
how the ass just run again? My fault.
Stuff from a handshake, if you were incapacitated by EA3167, you would probably believe that you had permanently lost your mind. And the worst part is, you would have no idea what was wrong with you. Also, because acetylcholine is the most important neurotransmitter for REM sleep, your brain would get very confused and no longer be able to tell the difference between reality and dream. In fact, this is why your hallucinations are so strong on anticholinergic drugs. They simply put your brain into a REM-like sleep state while you're still awake. So what you see and what's actually real become indistinguishable in the worst ways possible. And because of this, in my opinion, that's what makes this one of the cruelest chemical warfare drugs ever invented. But wait, it gets worse. Because for some cruel reason, the US military thought it was a bright idea to test this drug on human subjects. And
alright, so these niggas, I'm not lying, bro. These niggas in the 1960s was tripping. After World War II and what was it, Harry Truman, whatever what's that Truman? I don't even remember the president. The nigga that was like a general that turned into a president. Whoever that nigga was, bro, that nigga wanted them niggas dead, bro.
And sadly, some people simply never recovered from the terror of losing their ever-loving mind for 10 to 20 days. For example, one source states, quote, even 6 months after exposure, a few subjects demonstrated significant increases in the scores of depression, hysteria, schizophrenia, and mania scales. In other words, if you got drugged with this stuff, it's a pretty good chance that you'll never be the same. And even worse is you might permanently lose your mind. Number 2,
that's crazy.
Galantamine. This drug is deep.
What?
Is you might permanently lose your mind. Number 2, galantamine.
Galantamine type shit. I'm taking a class that covers the effects of drugs on the brain. That's kind of cool, though. I'm not gonna lie. Your mom _ the menace. Nice. On some calm shit. Type shit. Y'all niggas talking about pills. You ain't ever been in so much pain you had to take narcs to forget about the pain. Nigga, god damn.
This drug is deep.
Yo, this the real Extro I saw on YouTube. Bro, nah, they cloned me, bro. Chill, bro. Don't even say too much, bro. Chill, bro.
On the drug.
It's only like I'm an Extro, bro. I'm like Extro 3.4. Like, chill, bro.
Iceberg, but not because of how obscure it is. In fact, some people already know about galantamine because it is often used to treat Alzheimer's. But what not everybody knows is what niche internet communities use it for, which I'll be getting into. But first, let's talk about how galantamine works. Remember the chemical weapon we were just talking about? Well, this chemical is actually the exact opposite. Galantamine is what you would call a cholinergic drug, which basically means that it increases acetylcholine in your brain, which in turn improves your memory, wakefulness, and focus. So unlike anticholinergics, it makes you the opposite of a vegetable. So, a fruit? This is really helpful for people with Alzheimer's, but it also has another even crazier use. Like I mentioned earlier, acetylcholine is a super important neurotransmitter for REM sleep. Well, because of the effects these drugs have on your cholinergic system, Benadryl makes you asleep when you're awake. And by asleep, I mean a waking nightmare. But cholinergic drugs like galantamine make you awake when you're asleep. And because of this quality,
yo, that's crazy though.
have figured out that if you go to sleep
Niggas
and then set an alarm 4 to 6 hours after you fall asleep to catch yourself in the middle of a REM cycle, take 4 to 8 milligrams of galantamine, and then quickly go back to sleep before the galantamine kicks in, the galantamine will take effect on your brain while you're in the dream, which will give you about a 50% higher chance of lucid dreaming. And if you don't know what lucid dreaming...
that's kind of cool, though. But I heard if you lucid dream too much, you start having sleep paralysis instead.
It's basically realizing that you're in a dream and pretty much doing whatever you want, like flying, gaining superpowers, or even walking around the corner and hoping that your brain will make your celebrity crush appear. And considering it makes your memory
it's cool because you're aware though.
Better, most people that have tried this method for lucid dreaming say that the galantamine makes their dreams feel like they're dreaming in 4K. Basically, used during the daytime, galantamine is a mild, limitless pill.
So that's like you're like super focused. Like, that's so crazy.
And used during the nighttime, it's like the red pill from the Matrix. Interestingly, this chemical being used for lucid dreaming has also been studied, and one study called, quote,
Nigga said I had sleep paralysis from me falling down the stairs, bro. Nigga was falling down the stairs like a plank. You can't move. Nigga just gotta take them steps one hit at a time.
Sleep treatment with galantamine stimulates lucid dreaming. Conclude,
all my dreams are lucid and I keep killing myself. What does that mean, Extra? Yo, you need to speak to a therapist.
It's that, quote, the percentage of participants who reported a lucid dream was significantly increased for both 4 milligrams and 8 milligram doses of galantamine. But this isn't really deep enough for a video titled 5 Crazy Drugs You've Never Heard of. So I want to go a level deeper. There are actually people who take specifically designed stacks of nootropics, which are basically...
See, like, niggas is doing... What you doing? What the fuck are you talking about, babies, bro? Why is niggas taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tablets of some hardcore drugs?
Just legal supplements that affect your brain's functionality in order to get the clearest, most vivid, and long-lasting dreams imaginable. I honestly don't know what to call these people because they're not exactly psychonauts, but at the same time, they're still using drugs to explore the deepest depths of their subconscious.
That's
so
crazy.
I guess they're somewhere in between. According to some of these shaman-like dream gurus who I've talked to, apparently one of the wildest activities to do in a lucid dream isn't any of the crazy stuff you would imagine, like fighting your mortal enemy with superpowers, shape-shifting, or flying. Apparently, it's just meditating. Okay. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but these people have told me that the most fascinating thing to do in a dream once you realize that you're dreaming is to just stop.
Why is my AI saying titties like that?
And observe it. They look at the people passing by, they read a newspaper, and they listen to the random characters in their dreams having in-depth conversation. According to them, the state of awareness that they are in during these lucid dreams is more than the awareness they experience in their waking life. Colors are bright and vivid, like how they used to look when we were kids. And every other sense, such as smell, touch, and taste is in HD. Some people theorize
bro, and it's all in your mind. Like, that's all your brain. That's so weird to me, bro.
That this is because the brain experiences different brain waves or states of consciousness in different phases of sleep. For example, REM sleep is the state in which you dream. So basically, being aware in a dream is different from being aware in real life because once you become aware in your dream, your mind is already at a super low state of consciousness, which would typically take years of practice to achieve regularly. In fact, many cultures throughout history have practiced this dream enhancement with various substances long before galantamine was ever invented. For example, Tibetan monks have been practicing dream yoga as a meditation technique for hundreds of years. Similarly, African tribes have used something called the African dream route to induce lucid dreams as well. Finally, one user on a popular lucid dreaming forum wrote about what it was like to use galantamine, in which he states, quote, I set my alarm for 6 hours after I was going to wake up when I went to sleep. When I woke up, I took 4 milligrams of galantamine pills and 2 choline pills down some water.
In the lucid room, bro? Can you stop putting goon in and everything, bro? What is a lucid dream? Basically a dream where you just super aware of everything and you can control it sometimes and shit.
Went right back.
I used to try to get lucid dreams, but it never worked out, bro. I don't know what I did, but I used to get lucid dreams all the time, and then bro, I don't even remember my dreams no more, bro.
To sleep. After some time of tossing and turning, I decided to fall asleep on my stomach, like I usually do. And just as I was falling asleep, I suddenly felt pressure on my body, like someone put a very heavy blanket over me. I'm pretty sure this was sleep paralysis. Usually at this point, I have a hard time staying awake. But because the galantamine kicked in just in time, I felt vibrant and awake, even though my body was now asleep.
Oh, GG. You super aware in the sleep paralysis? Now you're dead. You gonna think you dead ass dying in real life, bro. Your shit cooked.
I stayed in my bed, simply.
Nigga had a lucid dream he was putting Nike Elite socks in the bag. Okay, bro. Really, dude? Excuse me. I just burped. I had a dream I was in the bathroom.
I had a dream I was in a bathroom and I looked in the mirror and my face was blurred. melting. Now that I think about it, it was probably a nightmare.
That was probably a night, nigga. You looked in the mirror and your face was melting. It was like, oh yeah, this shit calm. No, nigga, that shit, nigga, that shit is night, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I've had a dream that turned into a nightmare. Like I had a, bro. It's so crazy how quick a regular dream can turn into a nightmare. It's actually terrifying, bro. I had a dream where I was like meeting my grandparents. Like they moved from Africa to like live here, and we was visiting their house for the first time. And then all of a sudden, niggas was getting murdered. I don't know how. This shit was crazy as hell. I had a dream that I was at my own funeral. Shit felt too real. I think I've had a dream like that one time, bro. My nightmares dead make me suicidal IRL. Cause like, bro, it be fucking with your emotions, bro. It's like, what the fuck?
This feeling. And then, in an instant, I suddenly realized my body had drifted out of my real life body. This is probably the coolest sensation I've ever experienced. Suddenly, anything I imagined was perfectly visible, as if I were looking at a 3D TV screen. Then, I imagined my fingers touching a familiar texture, and suddenly I was looking down and my hands were touching the object I had just imagined. And an expansive town constructed its...
Not gonna lie, I love nightmares. They're like horror stories, but in dreams. Nigga, I'd be dead ass scared, though. I'd be fearing, like, I be thinking, bro, it should be feeling surreal, even though like when you wake up and you look back on the nightmare, you're like, bro, what the fuck? That shit was not that scary. But in the moment in that nightmare, bro, that shit feels dumb scary, bro. Like, bro.
Itself around me. Somehow, everything I could see, hear, smell, and touch
was
more
I
vivid
can't
than
control
I remembered
them.
real life to be. And upon my first attempt of flying, I was flying around this new city. I specifically remember a point where I was close to a cloud, looking down at the city, and I was just staring in disbelief at how realistic and accurate my dream was looking and feeling. I could feel the wind from flying, and everything I touched had an accurate texture.
I hate when I have a good dream and wake up, try to go back to sleep, right? And you can't get that same dream back, bro.
What's more is that any music I imagined synthesized right in my dream. For a moment, I felt like Hans Zimmer orchestrating an entire original composition that sounded even better and more out of this world than anything I've ever heard in my life. What felt like 2 hours from me exploring the city went by, and at a certain time I began to get worried. It felt like my brain had notified me that
I hate nightmares because it's always something about me getting chased and or drowning or burning or in a horror movie.
Literally, and you can't do anything because you feel helpless. Like, you can't do anything in that nightmare to like intervene, bro. This shit is crazy, bro. Bro, there was only one time where I actually went back to sleep and finished the dream. I was satisfied the whole day. Bro, no, you know what I've had though? Where like certain characters that I had in one dream appear again in another dream, like down the line, bro. And they be feeling mad. Sometimes I remember them, sometimes I don't. When the days I don't, bro, they be feeling mad for me. Like, yo, I've seen you before, but you're not from real life. Like, I don't know where I've seen you before. This shit is so trippy, bro. It's so cool, though.
I should have woken up by now. But I remembered that the galantamine was probably causing a dream lasting longer than it would naturally. Shortly after this, I promptly woke up and I looked at my clock and only 30 minutes have gone by.
Yo, that's crazy. Those dreams be weird as shit too. Bro, I had a dream where like, oh my God. Like, it'll only be like an hour or two in the real world. Like, I'll wake up and have, like, I'll take a nap. It'll be like an hour nap or something. Bro, it would feel like a whole week went by, bro. Like, it's so great. Like, it feel like multiple days.
That was the longest dream I've ever had. Number 3, Flubromazolam. For the sake of simplicity, we'll just call this drug Flubro. This drug falls under a category of drugs known as triazolobenzodiazepines, which is pretty much just a fancy word for research chemical benzos. And at that, it's one of the strongest benzodiazepines in the world. What's crazy is that it has a half-life of 50 to 20 hours, which means that if...
Nigga, 15, 20 hours of tripping? Bro, I don't know. Like, I feel like I don't want to try acid, but if I was on my deathbed, bro, I would want to try acid because, bro, it lasts for so long and you're tripping out for so long.
If someone using this drug takes even a tiny bit too much,
start with shrooms,
pretty much guaranteed to spend the next day or two
there's no sleeping with acid.
And I'm not talking about blacked out.
Like, it's almost all day, 24 hours. Like, it's literally that bad.
But as in sleepwalking around like a confused Xanfi not remembering anything you did yesterday, I'm talking about going into a straight up hibernation for 48 hours. In fact, now that I think about it, a good way to put this drug would be Xanax on steroids. Research chemicals
Xan's on... Nigga, shit, Zan's on steroids.
So strong that most of the time, even the most seasoned research chemical enthusiasts steer far away from this stuff. To give you some perspective on how crazy this drug is, I want to talk about how extreme regular benzos are.
No.
One good example of this is a Joe Rogan episode where Jordan Peterson explains how severe his benzo addiction was. He recounts how his doctor prescribed him Xanax in 2019 because he couldn't sleep. He started taking them without thinking too much about it. Then, in 2022, he attempted to get off of them for the first time, which caused him neurological damage and gave him severe withdrawals. In this episode, Joe Rogan also talks about how a doctor told him that Xanax was one of the hardest drugs to get off of, and how it can turn an everyday person into a severely dependent addict in a matter of weeks. Joe also goes on to tell him about another doctor that told him that there are only 2 drugs that can kill you if you get off of them. Those being, told him that there are only 2 drugs that can kill you if you get off of them. Those being alcohol and benzodiazepines. It's crazy to think that these drugs can literally kill you if you stop taking them.
That's so
Regardless,
scary.
after Dr. Peterson undertook months of unsuccessful treatment in American hospitals in an attempt to slowly wean himself off the drug, he finally had to go to a hospital in Russia and undergo a medically induced coma for 8 days just to deal with the withdrawals of Xanax. When talking about Xanax withdrawal, Peterson says trying to get off of them was the lowest point in his life. So just to put this all into perspective, let me present you with one user I found on a popular Swedish drug
the craziest drugs you never heard of
forum who talks about how Flubro withdrawal is at least 10 times worse than Xanax. He states that, quote, in just 1 week on these, at 1 tablet a day, I got the strongest withdrawals imaginable.
Nigga, that's so withdrawal, bro. The concept of withdrawals is so crazy to me, bro. Like, you take that shit once, you like, yo, I need this shit now, or like, it literally feels like you're gonna die without this shit. And it's a placebo effect. Like, that shit is so crazy to me, and your body literally just starts shutting down because you believe that shit so much.
If you thought Xanax was bad, Flubro is at least 10 times worse. So if you think quitting nicotine is hard, imagine a withdrawal that's 10 times worse than one that required an 8-day coma to escape from. Users on this forum also go on to describe the withdrawals in more detail. Quote, when you're withdrawing from Flubro, you can just forget about sleep if you don't have any other strong medicines. I had to get more Flubro again after being sleepless for 3 nights. The worst part was my body and mind felt exhausted, like I wanted to sleep, but it just felt like something was wrong. Like there was something preventing me from falling asleep. This user then states, quote, I've been on benzos for 15 years. But 1 week of Flubro is literally costing me my life. This substance is absolutely not to be played with. Then another user
niggas just be doing shit for fun. What do you like? What business do you have taking a drug called Flubro? Flublozine, whatever the full name is. What do you, bro? Come on, we gooning like always. Like always, we don't goon. Period.
User commented, quote, I've been on benzos for 10 years.
I was able to quit. Haven't thought about it since, bro. A lot of niggas. I don't know, bro. A lot of niggas got an addictive personality. Once they start, they just can't. Glad you able to got off that shit, bro. Good shit, bro. A lot of niggas still doing that shit, bro. They said they was gonna stop 5 years ago. Niggas still on that.
I got such an extreme withdrawal from these that I was borderline psychotic. The withdrawals were so bad that ever since that withdrawal, I decided to stop taking benzos forever, and I am currently tapering off them now. We all know Xanax addiction can make you spend months of your life essentially blacked out, not remembering anything. But because of Flubro's ridiculously long half-life, month-long blackouts on this drug are on a completely different level. To demonstrate what I mean, on a benzo drug forum, one user states, quote, Flubro blacked me out for literally months at a time. As a user, you know all of the consequences that come with benzos, getting fired, crashing your car, and spending money that you don't have. Now, crank that up exponentially, and you know the withdrawals you get? Those get cranked up too. I tried to withdraw at home, and I endured 2 weeks of wasting away before my mind snapped and I went into a full-blown psychosis and woke up in detox. I am not messing around with you when I say that this will ruin your life. And I'm not your mother, so I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm just telling you what's going to happen. It's turning yourself into an evil zombie and pain will follow. So yeah.
That's so trippy, bro. That's crazy deal. Like, you take one, bro, it's not even the drug. Like, oh, that's so crazy. Like, oh, that's so crazy, bro. You can take the drug and the drug will have its effects, but that's not the shit that's going to kill you. It's the withdrawal that's actually going to kill you. That's the most dangerous part of the drug, not the effects of it itself. That's so crazy. We were so close to beating cigs as a society with them damn scary ass ads, bro. Now we got vapes, bro. Oh my God. Yo, it would be like fucking 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whatever time. That's when it always starts. And then all of a sudden you seeing a fucking Michigan, a man 45 years old, and he smoked cigarettes since he was 15. And then he looks like an 80-year-old senior citizen, bro. That shit be fucking crazy. Bitch ripping her cheek. Bro, the one where there was this one lady that had like a voice box in her throat. Like you could visibly see it, bro. Oh my God. That shit was dead PTSD, bro.
Benzos alone are scary enough, but these research benzos are on a different level of terrifying. Number 4. MPTP. In my last video, we talked about 4-CMA, which infamously kills your serotonin neurons. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about another neurotoxic drug that's possibly worse, MPTP. Like many of the chemicals on this list, this is a research chemical, which means that it was developed in a lab and doesn't have enough historic testing and research to be considered reliable or safe. What's interesting about MPTP is that it's usually created as an accidental byproduct when trying to synthesize another research chemical known as MPPP. In 1976, a 23-year-old chemistry graduate named Barry Kidston was doing just that. Because MPPP gave similar effects to morphine, Kidston was producing it in a lab for personal consumption. What nobody knew at the time, however, was that when you synthesize MPPP, it comes with the risk of being contaminated by MPTP as a byproduct. Interestingly, MPTP isn't neurotoxic on its own, but it is the chemical precursor to MPP+. Once MPTP enters your blood-brain barrier, your brain turns it into MPP+, which is a potent neurotoxin that is guaranteed to kill your dopamine neurons
gets your bloodstream and it make a whole new drug, bruh.
Barry Kidston synthesized his MPPP in a lab, and when he was ready, he injected it into himself. Sources say that within 3 days...
I don't know why, like, he put... Okay, bro, I actually thought he injected it in his butt, like, the real person. I don't know why, like... Bro...
Barry had developed Parkinson's. He was treated with another dopamine precursor known as L-Dopa, but unfortunately he died from a cocaine overdose just a year later.
See, like, and then you taking other drugs at the same time. Bro, can you calm your ass down? I mean, you can't do it no more. You did, but like, bro.
Some people speculate
you can have my MPP. Stroking my MPPP. Dude.
that Kidston might have been taking cocaine to self-medicate his Parkinson's. What's scary is this isn't the only case of this happening. For example, in 1983, quote, 4 people in Santa Clara County, California, United States were diagnosed with Parkinson's after having used MPPP contaminated with MPTP, and as many as 120 more were reported to have been diagnosed with Parkinson's symptoms.
That's
all in
crazy.
all, this is a terrible drug, and just
Cocaine
like 4-CMA, it was never really intended to be taken, but it still ended up being accidentally consumed anyway. Honestly, I can't decide whether destroying your dopamine-producing neurons or your serotonin-producing neurons is worse.
MPPP, but that's the name of the drug. That's the name of the chemical concoction that happens, bro, if you take the shit.
P is a horrible idea considering the risk that it will turn into MPTP, and from that will almost guarantee you get Parkinson's.
That's so crazy, bro. That shit is a chemical reaction in your brain that forces you to have Parkinson's. Why would you take the shit?
Many drugs that I've found have such strong, lifelong effects.
I'll park his son. K-Dot? When the fuck did he say that?
I don't think I need to go into much more detail about what makes this chemical absolutely terrifying. No matter what you do, never even think about touching 4-CMA or MPTP or MPPP or any research chemical.
Why are you taking any chemicals as like, bro, you don't need to, bro, like, oh my God, bro, why are you doing this shit? People take these, have nothing to lose. They just want to just fucking, we just out with niggas. Hey, nigga, they literally fucking YOLO, literally the definition of YOLO, bro. Fuck it, bro. Nigga, I'm out of golf with a bang. I hope I don't get that shit because I play the guitar and produce. Nigga gonna be strumming the guitar, shaking his fucking hand. OD. Nigga, this shit OD. Extro. Don't take MPPP. Okay, that's a lot of P's, bro. I think that's one too many P's.
Or anything at all. Don't even drink water. At this point, I'm basically terrified of everything because these drugs are insane. But we still have one more, and it's the craziest I've touched on by far. But quickly, before we get to this last drug, I do have a confession. In the process for researching for this video, I found a lot of other drugs I wanted to discuss that just wouldn't fit in this video. And I know this was only supposed to be a part 2, and it's gonna be a 2-video series, and that's it. But seeming as you guys really enjoy this video, I thought I would leave it up to you. If you want to see a part 3, let me know. Leave a like, and if we get to 50,000 likes, we'll drop a part 3. Admittedly, these videos are risky for YouTube, but you guys do love them, so if I DPT.
DPT
is a drug that is generally just a bad deal to agree to. If you happen to have a good trip, most trip reports will just say it will be alright. But if you happen to have a bad trip, which is more of a rule than an exception with this chemical, most people agree that it's the worst psychedelic experience they've ever had. In the last drug video, part 1, I said that 5-MeO-DMT was basically DMT's mysterious grandfather. And that's true. But what I didn't tell you is that 5-MeO-DMT was just scratching the surface of DMT analogs. And this form of DMT, DPT, is more akin to the ghost that haunts DMT's mysterious grandfather. This is the next level down the DMT iceberg that not everyone knows about. Now, let's make one thing clear. DPT is not natural. It has never been found in any toad venom, any tree bark, or anywhere in the known universe thus far. And in my opinion, God was probably face-palming hard when he saw humans first make this stuff. That's probably because if you take a high enough dose, your trip can last up to 12 hours.
Bro, that shit is too long, bro. Nigga, that is your whole day, bro. Whole night, whatever you take this shit, bro. Nigga, so how the fuck is it a thing? Bro, I don't even know, bro.
See, when you make a psychedelic...
Niggas just be making... Bro, I was about to say they be in the lab making this shit. Look where they at. They literally in the fucking lab.
Drug in a lab, and it's nowhere to be found in nature. All of those hippie arguments of...
Extro type of drug. No, what the fuck? I don't know.
It's just a plant, bro. Made by the guy who looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo wearing a weed-scented tie-dye carpet he bought at the Dollar General just goes out the window. Another interesting fact about this cursed drug is that an entire cult was created around it.
Nigga making cults over drugs, bro. Are you serious, bro? Like, bro, if it hasn't been found on Earth, how the fuck is it a thing, bro? Dude, these niggas just be making new elements and shit.
I'm serious. If we're being...
But you do DMT? What's DMT? Isn't that the shit that be making your... Doesn't your brain naturally release DMT? Or am I tripping? I forget what DMT is, bro. You made a cult for gooning. Who are you to judge? Bro, nigga, that's not what my shit is. Dopamine? Is that what we release? Oh, it releases DMT when you die. Oh, that's what it is. And I heard DMT is like kind of similar to like when your brain releases DMT, it kind of like our brain kind of releases like a dream like effect. DTI, bro, wrong fucking acronym, bro. Dopamine is what we release. Oh, okay. That's for the brain. That's when we sleep type shit. It's a heavy psychedelic. You see spirits and spiritual beings and shit. Yo, whole time, can you imagine? Like we die, and then we start like levitating and shit. Whole time it's just DMT fucking with our brains. Like we think we speaking to God, and it's we're just tweaking out. We still talking about DTI after what happened. Come on, we do have a naturally small amount in our brains. That's crazy though, bro.
Honest, you know the drug is insane when people think this drug is God. And I'm
Whoa. I just said God.
Not joking, that's literally what happened. This cult is called the Temple of the True Inner Light. And the actual temple is unsurprisingly based in New York City. And if you think this sounds like some type of crazy science fiction plot, you wouldn't be wrong. It's weird because everyone talks about Scientology in LA, but somehow an NYC cult temple that worships a synthesized research chemical variant of DMT that can't even be found in nature just slips under the radar. Anyways, on their website, which is kind of hard to find, they go into detail.
The psychedelic is the creator, dude.
About what they actually believe. Quote, "It is our belief that the origin of religion and spiritual awakening is the ingestion of psychedelics. In other words, the original followers of every true religion, such as Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, believe that psychedelics are the embodiment of God. This was and is the God of the ancient prophets and messengers. And this is the light spoken of in scriptures and sacred texts."
Bro, these niggas be tripping. I almost have 1,000 beanies. Let's go.
What's even crazier is that they smoke DPT in oil form, and they even have their own religious texts referring to their God as oil.
Taking my earbud out. I don't want to hear this shit.
For example, on their website, they have one of their own scriptures that says, quote, "I'm writing to you about those who would deceive you, but the oil you received from him remains within you, and you really need no teaching from anyone. Simply remain in him. For this oil teaches you about everything, and is true, and is no lie. Remain in him, as his oil has..."
I mean, science and spiritually are basically the same thing. They just discovered photon entanglement when photographed is the yin yang. Wait, they discover photon entanglement when photographed is the yin yin and yang symbol. What? Let me watch time, by the way. I'm gonna read this in a mad interesting. I'm gonna read this. Hold on, my brain fucking. It's the this part, but I know what you mean. I'm gonna read this. This is mad interesting. That's why.
Taught you to
I want to see.
Needless to say, I wonder if
I want to see different perspectives. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of seemed interesting.
This cult would accept Joe Rogan into it. I know we've talked about Joe Rogan a lot, but here's Joe Rogan entering this cult for the first time. Welcome, brother. We have awaited you.
I'm not gonna lie. I would click that link, but I have a feeling it's an article about it, or is it just the image? Yo, what the fuck? That's actually kind of crazy. That is not Joe Rogan. Oh, look like Joe Rogan to me right here.
Amy, pull up that video of that bear smoking DMT. Also, pull up a Trust Me Bro video, please.
And that's totally real and definitely happened. Another weird thing about the temple's website is that they just take passages from the Bible and then just kind of add stuff to it. For example, their website
Nigga, okay, why y'all niggas adding oil to this shit?
features, quote, 1 St. John's 2:26, but I don't really know what saint is supposed to mean in this instance. Also, what their website says is notably different from the original scripture, with the original scripture saying, I'm writing these things to you about those who are trying to lead you astray. And this website's version of the scripture is, quote, salvation does not come from the darkness. Alcohol, cocaine, morphine, dishonesty, violence. Our Eucharist is DPT, a very powerful angel of a host.
Bro.
Closely related to psilocybin. In my opinion, the biggest problem with this cult's claims is that DPT doesn't even occur in nature, and it also fails to be molecularly similar to psilocybin like they claimed in that verse. Alright, enough about the cult, which to me is one of the most insane parts about this drug, but what is the drug itself actually like? Well, the general consensus on the internet is that this drug is just, for lack of better words, eerie. And it's also one of the first drugs I've ever found that even experienced psychedelic users have been wary of. So, in other words, using this drug would feel exactly like how you would expect using a cult drug to feel like, with many users reporting dark spiritual experiences being associated with this chemical. For example, one Reddit post I found on the substance goes into detail about why it was the worst trip they ever had. This Redditor started by saying, quote, so the other day I broke out some DPT and took around 50 milligrams. I have plenty of psychedelic experience consisting of high doses of the following: DMT, LSD, mushrooms, MDA, DMX, 4-HOMET, and some other things I'm sure I've heard.
Nigga just listening random, like, what the fuck? Bro, okay. Niggas just taking other shit in high doses. Talk about some others I'm sure I've forgotten. Nigga, this isn't that isn't it.
Forgotten. But even my worst trips don't even touch DPT. Nothing gets close to what I just experienced, and it was possibly the worst psychedelic experience I've ever had. He then goes on to say, quote, this is the weirdest, eeriest, and strangest, most intense chemical I have ever ingested. At first, it felt pretty good, and the visuals were quite enjoyable. But about 15 minutes after dosing, something became very off.
Oh, nice.
It felt as if something had entered my body and I was no longer in control whatsoever, but in a different way than DMT. I didn't even feel that intoxicated, which was the weird and scary part. I just felt a complete loss of control. Then comes the craziest part, in my opinion. They go on to say, quote, I had an extreme eerie feeling along with extreme disassociation and possibly even slight psychosis-like symptoms. This feels like a direct pathway to communications with evil spirits. Many people who follow the philosophy of naturalism believe that designer drugs are a connection to evil spirits because they aren't naturally occurring, and thus weren't meant for human consumption. I know this is a bit off topic, but I thought it was an interesting concept to keep in mind for this specifically. The Redditor goes on to say, quote, the next night I also had extremely vivid, terrifying nightmares and sleep paralysis. During sleep paralysis,
this shit making me scared, bro, because I'm like thinking like, bro, this is so like, yo, it's a bad trip, bro. It's all in your brain. Like, it's not like, bro, it's technically effects of the drug, but like the effects of the drug are making you lose a sense of reality and what's real and what's not, bro. Like, you can't even do shit. Like, it's like real life has become a dream. Like, and it's like, that shit is so crazy to me, bro. And only you are the one going through, but it's real life. It's not like you're sleeping, bro. That shit is so crazy.
Black entity had quite literally tormented me until I fell back into my dream, then continued to do so in my nightmare. I usually do not have experiences like this, and I also never have had sleep paralysis. And if you found that story creepy, the comments aren't any more comforting. with one user commenting, quote, "Some people are sensitive to spiritual attacks. In this materialistic, spiritually closed-minded civilization we live in, everything is just reduced to chemicals, states of mind, or psychologicalized, or written off in another way. The spiritual world is just non-existent under that frame." And finally, one last claim I found about DPT was the following, quote, "I've been taking DPT and it makes me feel possessed in a way, almost like I'm the creepy dude in Hereditary. That sort of thing, I suppose. Just like I'm channeling something very intense that transcends humanity. All of the drugs on this list are insane, and I don't think any more detail is required on why. And for all of the people who commented on the first video that they wanted to try them, don't. And if you want to try anything, remember to try today's sponsor.
Nah, I'm good. I'm not trying to sponsor. I'm trying DPT, MPTP, Flubro, galantamine, EA3167. That's what we doing, bro. That's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.